Hey there. Welcome back. Are you ready to deep dive into the future of finance with us today?
Always ready.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm excited to kind of like look at things from both a personal and a corporate perspective.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of like zooming in and out on a map of your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that.
We've got two sources for you today.
Okay, sounds good.
One that might make your eyes glaze over a little, and another that's super practical and useful.
Ooh, a good balance.
Exactly. Okay, so first we've got this Deloitte Insights article, and it's called Crunch Time, Finance 2025 Revisited.
Okay.
And it's all about the big trends that CFOs are watching.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, we're going to break it down so it actually makes sense for your everyday life.
Okay, good.
And then the second source is this really cool month-by-month guide from T. Rowe Price
Oh, cool.
for getting your personal finances in shape for 2025.
Nice.
It's called Make a Fresh Start in 2025, your financial checklist for the new year.
Okay.
And it's full of actionable tips.
I'm intrigued. I love how those two kind of complement each other,
Yeah.
Because by understanding those big picture financial trends, you can make smarter choices about your own money.
Exactly. It's like having a crystal ball, but instead of seeing vague shapes,
Right.
we're getting concrete advice on how to prepare for what's coming.
I like it.
So let's jump into this Deloitte article first.
Okay.
They talk about how COVID-19 really shook things up,
Yeah.
speeding up things like business innovation and remote work. I mean, we all lived through it, right?
Sure.
But what's interesting is the ripple effect it had on things like mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah.
Did you know that in the first 5 months of 2021, there was a record-breaking $2.4 trillion in M&A activity?
That's a huge number.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and it tells us a lot about how industries are starting to blend together.
Oh, interesting.
Think about it. Companies are sitting on mountains of cash
Yeah.
looking for opportunities.
Right.
And sometimes the quickest way to grow is to just buy another company.
Oh, that's true. In fact, at the end of the first quarter of 2021, non-financial companies in the S&P 500 had over $2 trillion in cash reserves.
Wow.
That's a lot of buying power.
Yeah, and all that buying and merging can have a direct impact on you.
Yeah, definitely.
Imagine your favorite little tech startup suddenly getting swallowed up by a giant corporation or
Yeah.
two companies you use all the time merging into one.
Mm-hmm.
The market is definitely a wild ride right now.
It is.
But before we get into Deloitte's predictions on how this all plays out,
Yeah.
let's shift gears and see what T. Rowe Price has to say about managing our own money.
Love that it's like grounding ourselves before we take off into the financial stratosphere.
Exactly. So this T. Rowe Price checklist is all about setting yourself up for success step by step.
Nice.
They really emphasize the importance of having clear financial goals.
Yeah.
It's not just about budgeting. It's about figuring out what you really want to achieve with your money.
I love that they start with that in January. It's like setting an intention for your finances.
Well, that's a good way to put it.
Where do you want to be a year from now?
Right.
5 years from now? Once you have that vision, you can start making a plan to get there.
Right. And they break it down into manageable steps, for example.
Okay.
They recommend reducing expenses and maxing out your IRA contributions early in the year.
Smart.
That way you're starting off strong and setting yourself up for success.
Yeah, building momentum.
Yeah.
And then they get into streamlining your finances in February.
Yeah.
Managing old 401ks, maybe consolidating your investments, and the best part,
Yes.
setting up automatic contributions.
I love that automation tip. It's like putting your finances on autopilot, so you don't even have to think about it.
Totally.
You're paying yourself first before you even have the chance to spend that money.
Exactly.
And then, of course, they remind you about tax preparation in March.
Tax is not the most exciting topic, but
Yeah.
they actually make it sound kind of empowering,
Yeah.
Use that tax refund strategically. Maybe catch up on your IRA contributions or pay down some high-interest debt. It's all about being proactive and using these financial milestones to your advantage.
I'm definitely feeling more motivated about doing my taxes already.
Uh-huh.
And they keep the momentum going with things like credit report checks and debt management in April.
It's like they're holding your hand through the whole year, reminding you of the key things to focus on each month.
Right.
They even get into things like opening 529 accounts for education in May,
Oh, wow.
helping your kids learn about finances and continuing to educate yourself.
That's so important. The financial world is constantly changing, so we need to be lifelong learners, right?
Yes.
Whether it's reading a book, listening to podcasts like this one,
Oh,
or attending workshops, it's all about staying ahead of the curve.
for sure.
But I'm curious, how do these individual tips from T. Rowe Price connect with those big trends that Deloitte is talking about?
That's where it gets really interesting. Remember those 8 financial predictions Deloitte made back in 2018?
Oh.
Well, they're actually super relevant to how we manage our money on a personal level.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's dive into those predictions and see how they connect to our everyday lives.
All right, prediction number 1 is the rise of everything as a service.
Okay.
Deloitte suggests that businesses will increasingly consume technology talent and even data as services. And, this isn't just some abstract concept. It's already happening all around us.
Okay, I'm following so far, but what does that mean for me? I'm not a big corporation. I'm just trying to manage my own money.
Think about all those subscriptions you probably have.
Oh, yeah?
Streaming services, software meal kits, maybe even a subscription box for your pet.
That's me.
Deloitte is saying that this trend is only going to accelerate.
So more subscriptions. My wallet is already crying.
Well, not necessarily. It's about being smart about the services you choose.
Okay.
Are there any you could bundle together to save money? Are there any you're not really using that you could ditch? The key is to be more intentional about the services you're paying for and make sure they're truly adding value to your life.
That's a great point. I definitely have a few subscriptions I could probably live without. So it's not just about having more subscriptions. It's about choosing the right ones and making sure they align with your financial goal.
Exactly. It's about having a strategy for managing this everything as a service world, both from a business perspective and a personal perspective.
This is already making me rethink my whole subscription game.
Yeah.
Okay, what's prediction number 2?
Prediction number 2 is all about the organization of the future. Deloitte believes that businesses are going to have to become more agile and adaptable with flexible structures and teams that can respond quickly to change.
Okay, I get how that's important for big companies, but how does that apply to me?
Yeah.
I'm not running a multinational corporation here.
It's still relevant, just on a different scale. Think about your own career. The job market is changing so rapidly, and the skills that are in demand today might be obsolete tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a little scary to think about. So what's the solution?
It's about investing in yourself and your ability to adapt. Are you constantly learning new skills? Are you open to exploring new opportunities, even if they're outside your comfort zone? The more adaptable you are, the better you'll be able to navigate the twists and turns of the job market.
So it's like that saying, the only constant is change. We have to be prepared to pivot and evolve with the times.
Exactly. And that adaptability mindset can even apply to your personal finances. Are you open to trying new budgeting apps or exploring different investment strategies? The more flexible you are, the better equipped you'll be to handle whatever financial challenges come your way.
Wow. I'm already seeing how these big picture trends can have a ripple effect on our personal lives. This is fascinating. Okay, I'm ready for prediction number 3. Hit me with it.
Prediction number 3 dives into how work is actually getting done these days. It's what Deloitte calls the workforce ecosystem, which sounds a bit sci-fi, but it's really just about the shift away from that traditional 9-to-5 job they're talking about. More freelancers, remote work gigs, you name it.
Yeah, you see that everywhere now, right? It feels like the old rules of work are being rewritten.
Exactly. And this has huge implications for your personal finances. Remember how T. Rowe Price suggested reviewing your insurance coverage back in August? Well, if you're part of this new workforce ecosystem, you might need to think outside the box when it comes to insurance. Traditional employer-provided plans might not cut it, so you might need to explore individual options or supplemental coverage.
That's a really good point. I hadn't even thought about that. It's like the whole system of work and benefits is changing, and we have to adapt.
Absolutely. And this brings us to prediction number 4, which is all about data. Deloitte predicts an explosion in the data supply chain, where data becomes a valuable asset carefully managed and used for insights. Data is everywhere these days, but what does that mean for us on a personal level?
Yeah, it's kind of overwhelming, right? I mean, I know my data is out there, but I'm not sure I fully understand how it's being used.
Think about your credit report, which T. Rowe Price reminded us to check back in April. That report is basically a collection of data points that lenders use to decide whether to give you a loan and what interest rate you'll pay by understanding how your data is being used in the financial world. You can take steps to protect your privacy and make sure the information out there is accurate.
So it's not just about managing my money, it's about managing my data too.
Exactly. In a world where data is becoming increasingly valuable, you have to be proactive about protecting your own information.
This is blowing my mind a little. Okay, I'm ready for prediction number 5.
This one focuses on the changing role of the CFO. Deloitte predicts that CFOs will become less focused on traditional accounting tasks and more involved in strategic decision-making. They call this the evolving role of the CFO, and it's happening as businesses face more complex challenges.
Makes sense. But as an individual, how does that change anything for me?
It's about adopting a similar mindset for your own finances. Remember when T. Rowe Price stressed the importance of setting clear financial goals? Well, just like those high-level CFOs, you need to be strategic about your money. It's not just about balancing your checkbook anymore. It's about setting long-term goals, understanding your risk tolerance, and making investment decisions that align with your overall vision.
So I need to be the CFO of my own life.
Precisely. Take control, see the big picture, and make choices that support your financial dreams.
I love that idea. All right, what's next on Delight's list?
Number 6 focuses on something that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie: the rise of exponential technologies. We're talking about things like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and advanced analytics. Delight believes these technologies will revolutionize the financial industry, making things more efficient and providing deeper insights.
Okay, that sounds pretty high-tech. How on earth can I prepare for that as an individual? Do I need to become a coding whiz overnight?
Not at all. Remember T. Rowe Price's advice to automate your investments? Well, many of those automated platforms are powered by these very technologies. They can analyze your risk tolerance, rebalance your portfolio, and even find new investment opportunities that you might have missed.
So I don't need to be an expert in these technologies. I just need to be open to using tools that leverage them.
Exactly. It's about understanding how these advancements can work for you. And speaking of advancements, prediction number 7 is all about the Agile Finance Organization. Delight believes that finance teams will need to become more nimble and responsive to keep pace with the breakneck speed of change in the world.
Okay, quick on their feet, adaptable, ready for anything. Got it.
Exactly. And this connects back to T. Rowe Price's advice about that mid-year checkup in June. They emphasize reviewing your budget and investments, and that kind of regular reassessment is key in an agile approach. The financial world is a constantly shifting landscape, and you need to be ready to adjust your plan as needed.
So being agile isn't just for businesses, it's for all of us managing our personal finances too.
Absolutely. It's about being flexible and willing to make course corrections as you go. And that brings us to Deloitte's final prediction, number 8, risk transformation.
Okay, risk is definitely something we're all dealing with in today's world. What exactly do they mean by risk transformation, and how does it affect me?
Deloitte is saying that managing risk is going to become even more complex as the world throws us curveballs. It's not just about avoiding losses anymore. It's about anticipating and mitigating a whole range of potential threats, from cybersecurity to market volatility.
That makes sense for businesses, but how does that translate to my personal finances? I'm not exactly dealing with global supply chain disruptions on a daily basis.
Think back to T. Rowe Price's advice about being vigilant with cybersecurity, something they recommend focusing on in October. That's a perfect example of how risk management is becoming increasingly important for individuals, too. We live in a digital world where our financial information is more exposed than ever before. Strong passwords, two-factor authentication, being wary of phishing scams, those are all essential risk management strategies for individuals in today's world.
So it's not just about protecting my computer, it's about protecting my money, too.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to double check all my security settings after this.
Excellent. And, all of Deloitte's predictions really highlight how important it is to be proactive and informed. You can't just bury your head in the sand and hope for the best.
Right. It's about taking ownership of your financial future and making decisions that align with the changing world around us.
Exactly. And that's where T. Rowe Price's checklist comes in. So handy, it gives you a framework for thinking about your finances step by step, month by month.
It's like a roadmap for navigating the financial landscape in 2025 and beyond. Okay, before we move on, I want to highlight a few more nuggets of wisdom from the T. Rowe Price article that I found really interesting.
Oh, I love these practical tips. What else did they suggest?
Well, in September, they encourage giving back to your community, whether it's through charitable donations or volunteering your time. It's a good reminder that money isn't just about personal gain. It's also about making a positive impact on the world.
Absolutely. And they also offer some clever tax tips for charitable giving, like bunching your donations to maximize your deductions.
Right. So smart. And then in November, they remind us to have those sometimes difficult but crucial conversations with our loved ones about finances and estate planning. It's about making sure everyone is on the same page and that your wishes are clearly communicated.
It's about peace of mind and taking care of the people you love, even when you're not around. And then in December, as the year winds down, they bring it back to retirement planning. See, saving, consistently understanding your options, making sure you're on track to enjoy those golden years.
It's a full circle moment, right? Starting the year with clear financial goals and ending it with a plan for your future.
And remember, it's never too early to start planning for retirement. The sooner you start, the more time your money has to grow.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Reading through this T. Rowe Price checklist, it really struck me how much emphasis they place on revisiting your plan throughout the year. It's not just about setting it and forgetting it.
Absolutely. Financial planning is an ongoing process. Your circumstances change, your goals evolve, and the market fluctuates.
So it's like checking in with yourself, assessing your progress, and making adjustments along the way.
Think of it as a journey, not a destination, and just like any good road trip, you need to check your map occasionally, make sure you're on course, and be open to detours if something unexpected pops up.
I love that analogy. So as we near the end of our deep dive, I want to leave our listener with a final thought-provoking question. Something to ponder as they embark on their own financial journey. We've talked about how individual choices can potentially influence larger financial trends. But I'm curious, what about the reverse? How does those big sweeping trends we discussed, the rise of automation, the changing nature of work, the growing importance of data, how do those trends influence your personal financial decisions?
Wow, that's a powerful question. It's like looking at the flip side of the coin. On one hand, we have the power to shape the future of finance through our individual choices. But on the other hand, we're also being shaped by these larger forces that are often beyond our control.
It's a bit of a paradox, right? We're both influencing and being influenced by the world around us.
Absolutely. And it makes you realize that personal finance isn't just about managing your own money. It's about understanding your place in this much larger and more complex system.
It's about seeing the interconnectedness of everything.
Exactly. Our financial lives are intertwined with the global economy, with technological advancements, with social and political shifts. It's a constantly evolving landscape, and the more we understand about it, the better prepared we'll be.
Well said. So, dear listener, we leave you with that thought to chew on. How do these larger trends shape your financial choices? How do you see yourself navigating the financial landscape of the future?
And remember, you're not alone in this journey. We're all figuring it out together.
That's a great point. We're all in this together, facing the same challenges, sharing the same opportunities.
Exactly. And by learning from each other, supporting each other, and making informed choices, we can create a more prosperous and equitable future for everyone.
It's been a wild ride through the future of finance, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. We've covered so much ground, from those mega mergers happening right now to the nitty-gritty of managing your 401k, and even dipped our toes into the world of artificial intelligence. It's amazing how all these pieces connect to paint a picture of what's coming next.
And what really stood out to me is the emphasis on being proactive, both from the corporate perspective in the Deloitte article and on a personal level in the T. Rowe Price checklist. It's not about waiting for things to happen to you. It's about taking charge and making informed decisions.
Couldn't agree more. It's about having that CFO mindset, whether you're running a Fortune 500 company or just trying to get a handle on your monthly budget.
Exactly. And remember, this financial landscape is constantly shifting. What we've talked about today is just a glimpse into the future. The key is to stay curious, stay informed, and be ready to adapt.
So true. We're all on this journey together, learning as we go.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a few key takeaways. First, knowledge is power. The more you understand about the financial world, the better equipped you'll be to make smart choices.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to dive in and learn. There are so many resources available, from podcasts like this one to books to online courses. Find what works for you and keep feeding that curiosity.
Second, embrace technology. It could be such a valuable tool for managing your money, automating tasks, and staying organized. Don't let it intimidate you. Let it empower you.
And remember, technology is constantly evolving too. What seems cutting edge today might be commonplace tomorrow. So be open to exploring new tools and platforms as they emerge.
And finally, and this is the most important takeaway of all, remember that you're not alone on this journey. We're all in this together, facing similar challenges and opportunities.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to reach out for help, whether it's from a financial advisor, a trusted friend, or even online communities. There's so much power in sharing knowledge and supporting each other.
Well said. And on that note of community and shared wisdom, I want to thank you, dear listener, for joining us on this deep dive into the future of finance. We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and maybe even a little bit empowering.
Until next time, keep those financial goals in sight. And remember, you are the CFO of your own life. We're here to support you every step of the way.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next deep dive. It's been a wild ride through the future of finance, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've covered so much ground, from those mega mergers happening right now to the nitty-gritty of managing your 401k.
Right.
And even dipped our toes into the world of AI. It's amazing how all these pieces kind of connect to paint this picture of what's coming next.
And what really stood out to me is the emphasis on being proactive.
Yeah.
Both from the corporate perspective, like in that Deloitte article, and on a personal level in the T. Rowe Price checklist.
Right.
It's not about waiting for things to happen to you. It's about taking charge and making informed decisions.
I agree with that completely. It's about having that CFO mindset.
Yeah.
Whether you're running a Fortune 500 company or just trying to get a handle on your monthly budget.
Sure. Exactly. And remember, this financial landscape is constantly shifting. What we've talked about today is just a glimpse into the future.
Yeah.
The key is to stay curious, stay informed, and be ready to adapt.
So true. We're all on this journey together, learning as we go.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a few key takeaways.
Okay.
First, knowledge is power. The more you understand about the financial world, the better equipped you'll be to make smart choices.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to dive in and learn.
Yeah.
There are so many resources available, from podcasts like this one to books to online courses. Find what works for you and keep feeding that curiosity.
Yeah, I love that second, embrace technology.
Yes.
It can be such a valuable tool for managing your money, automating tasks, and staying organized.
Yeah.
Don't let it intimidate you. Let it empower you.
And remember, technology is constantly evolving too.
Right.
What seems cutting edge today might be commonplace tomorrow. So be open to exploring new tools and platforms as they emerge.
Right. And finally, and this is the most important takeaway of all, remember that you're not alone on this journey.
Yeah.
We're all in this together, facing similar challenges and opportunities.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to reach out for help, whether it's from a financial advisor, a trusted friend, or even online communities. There's so much power in sharing knowledge and supporting each other.
Well said. And on that note of community and shared wisdom, I want to thank you, dear listener, for joining us on this deep dive into the future of finance. We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and maybe even a little bit empowering.
Until next time, keep those financial goals in sight. And remember, you are the CFO of your own life. We're here to support you every step of the way.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.